All right, next item is Berry School Waterline Extension Project Grant Application.
So Berry Elementary School has been struggling with water quality issues for the past at least couple of years. They worked with the state, did a feasibility study to look at ways that they could address their water quality. They tried a pilot study for on-site treatment and determined that that was not a good alternative. So they approached the city about the concept of extending a water service to Berry Elementary School to serve the school. After meeting with the state, um, we determined that this would be a project that would be 100% grant funded. So the construction, the design, the connection fees, 100% grant funded. So the city water main currently ends at the west edge of Riverbend Elementary School. And then there's also a water main on Railroad Avenue, right by Tuscan. So what this project would allow us to do is extend the city water mains on Railroad and Stewart. So they would connect at the intersection of Railroad and Stewart. The benefits to the city is that it creates a looped distribution system. Right now, with the dead end water main at Riverbend Elementary School, we have to go out on a frequent basis to flush the water line to keep the water quality level up. So this would allow us to loop the system. And then also, as we look forward to possible sphere expansion, these lines would serve that area. But I want to be very clear, south of Stewart Road, we would be proposing to install a water service for the specific benefit of Berry School only. So it wouldn't serve any other properties beyond Berry School. Berry School would keep their wells for irrigation purposes, so this would be strictly for domestic use at the school. So staff is requesting approval to provide a water service to Berry Elementary School contingent upon the approval of a state revolving grant fund. And then authorize the Public Works Department to proceed with the grant application for a state revolving fund project.
All right, Diane, I have a question. So at the corner of Stewart and Railroad, there would be a meter put in place, and so that line from that point forward would be their responsibility to maintain and keep up because it would be serving just their property. Is that correct?
Correct. And we had discussions with them. They're not in the necessarily in the business of maintaining a long water service like that. So as part of the agreement with the school district, we would need to work out that who's responsible for maintenance activities on the water service. If it's the city, how would we be reimbursed for maintenance activities? Also, they don't participate in underground service alert, but we do. So if they were requesting that the city mark the line as part of underground service alert, how do we get reimbursed for that? So there's details that would need to be worked out with the school district, but when we had the preliminary discussions, we felt like those things were not insurmountable and that with council's permission we could work through those.
And then also, being that that would terminate at the school, they would have to flush the line on their own to keep the water quality up also.
Right, so they did an analysis, and during the school year they feel like they have enough, because it's a small diameter service, they have enough use that it would keep the water quality turned over. So during the summer, if they have summer school, that they anticipated that that would work as well. But there would be times that they would need to basically put water into a tank on site just to flush the service, and then they could use that for irrigation or whatever on site. But that would all be going through a meter, and they'd be paying for it.
All right, thank you. Any questions of staff?
You almost answered what I was going to ask.
Go ahead.
What size of line is the service going to be?
Preliminary, we're looking at a 3-inch service.
What I thought. Okay, thank you.
All right. Any other questions? All right. Entertain a motion.
I'll move on staff's recommendation.
I'll second. All right. Any further discussion on the item? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Motion carries unanimously.